Hello dear students, thank you so much for joining me here on SJ's classes. In this video lesson, we will discuss the very first poem that has been prescribed for you as part of your syllabus related to the paper 20th century Malayalam literature in English translation. And the poem is a requiem to Mother Earth. I gave you a very brief introduction to the poet O.N.V. Kurup and also this poem in my previous video lesson. I hope you have watched it. In this video lesson, I will discuss the first 7 stanzas of this poem. This poem, as I said in my previous lesson, is a wake-up call for humanity. The poem voices a grave concern over the imminent destruction of Earth and its inhabitants. The poet warns us that if we continue with the destruction and exploitation of everything we see around us, then we will lose this world. And this world is the only abode of us. So it is our responsibility to take care of it. The poem is an outcry to protect the environment, the civilization, and the values we have inherited over generations. Let us look at the poem. The poem begins with an epigraph. It reads, "A song of praise for this earth, for its surge of life, for poetry, the essence of its beauty." It is a song of praise. Now the word praise here, it means rather than commendation, it has the idea of a homage. O.N.V. Kurup is paying respect to Mother Nature. He is not commending it. He is not giving praise to Mother Earth, but rather he is showing his respect for this great entity. He is going to write verse that shall pay homage to this earth for the surge of life, which means the abundance of life that you see around you, and also for poetry. Probably O.N.V. meant poetry is a medium that can capture the essence, the vital part, or convey the essence of the lives around you, or convey the essence of Earth, Mother Earth, to you. So he is going to shower praise upon Earth for all that you see around you and also for poetry. Let us look at the first stanza. It reads, "This earth not yet dead, in the imminence of your death, may your soul rest in peace. This song I inscribe in my heart today is a requiem to you and to me." So look at how he begins the first stanza. This earth not yet dead. He establishes that undertone of imminent destruction. There is this warning in the very first line. This earth not yet dead. But there is a possibility that it might be dead soon. And he conveys this idea in the second line, where he says, "In the imminence of your death." Imminence means which is soon to arrive, which might soon happen. So the earth is not yet dead, but it might be dead soon. He establishes his idea at the very start itself. And what does he do afterwards? In the third line, he is wishing her eternal peace. May your soul rest in peace. This song I inscribe in my heart today. The poet is inscribing, etching, carving these lines into his heart today as a requiem to you. And requiem is a song or hymn of mourning composed as a memorial to a dead person. So this poem is actually a memorial to the dying earth. It's not yet dead, but it is dying. And the reason for the earth going to confront its final moments soon is the exploitations made by human beings. And that is why perhaps he says the requiem is for earth as well as for him, because he knows that if earth dies, then mankind will perish too. So he is wishing eternal peace not only to earth but also to human race as such. Let's move on to the second stanza. The second stanza reads, "When tomorrow you lie benumbed in the enveloping shadow of the dark poisoned flower of death, none will be left here, not me either, to mourn, to moisten your dead lips with our tears. Therefore I inscribe this to you, Mother Earth, not yet dead, in the imminence of your death, may your soul rest in peace." When tomorrow you lie benumbed. Benumbed means lacking sensation. When you don't respond, that is the state of that is a state in which you lack sensation. So tomorrow, when you lie benumbed in the enveloping shadow of the dark poison flower of death. Look at that imagery over there. Dark poison flower of death. You normally associate flower with beauty, with pleasantness, and all those positive ideas. But in this poem, in the second stanza, ONV has associated this imagery with a negative aspect. He describes death as a flower which has dark poison in it. And as this shadow envelops the entire earth, there will be none left here. When you die, we too will die. And the poet asserts that he will also not survive. It's not that since he wrote verse lines in favor of earth, he will be saved. He will also perish. He will also die when the human race becomes extinct. So there will be none left here, not me either, to mourn. To mourn means to be sad about, to be gloomy about, to share grief. To mourn, to moisten your dead lips. Moisten means to make slightly wet. To moisten your dead lips with our tears. So there will be no one left on earth to share the grief, to show some concern, to be sad about the dying earth or the earth that is already dead. And all this while, ONV is pointing out to the fact that when earth dies, man will also die, or the human race will become extinct. Therefore, I inscribe this to you, Mother Earth, not yet dead, in the imminence of your death, may your soul rest in peace. These phrases become something like an anaphora. Anaphora means words or phrases that repeat. And why does ONV repeat these lines? That is what we need to understand, or we need to interpret. He is repeating it so that this will be carved into our minds, that if earth dies, we too shall perish. This is the idea that he wants to convey. As I said in my previous video lesson, the aim of ONV behind writing this poem was to share a warning that, or give a message that it is mutual existence that we need. We need to follow a symbiotic relationship with this earth. Only then we will be able to survive. Only then there is future for human race. So this is the idea that he is trying to drive home. The idea that man must follow, or man must have a symbiotic mutual relationship with earth. Or else when earth perishes, we too shall perish. Let us look at the third stanza. You, mother even to Parai, who bore the 12, from whom 12 clans branched, bore countless children, who could not live in amity, you saw them with your own eyes, devouring one another. You stood helpless, shedding unseen silent tears. Then, even as they danced merrily, gorging you slice by slice, all suffering, you stood unprotesting. You, mother even to Parai. Parai is part of a popular folktale in Kerala. According to this folktale, Vararuji, one of the 9 wise men of the great emperor Vikramaditya's court, married a girl belonging to Paraya, which was a lower caste. The couple set out on a long pilgrimage. On the way, they were blessed with 12 children. Upon each delivery, Vararuji inquired whether the baby had a mouth. If the wife said yes, he would say, God will appease the one with the mouth, and would ask the wife to abandon the baby, then and they will proceed. 11 children were thus deserted. And the reason why they deserted all these 11 children is that they had a mouth. But however, these children were adopted and brought up by 11 different families, varying from the aristocratic upper caste to the very lower caste. And it is from these people that it is believed that different caste affiliations evolved. You have Nambudiri, Parayan, Rajagan, such caste in our society, or which existed earlier in our society, and it is believed that these castes evolved from these 11 children who were given birth to by Vararuji and his wife, who belonged to the Paraya caste. That is the folklore behind the word Parai, or the name Parai. So that is the folklore mythological story that is being referred to here by ONV. You, mother even to Parai. Now, Parai is a person who gave birth to many children, and ONV says that Mother Earth is mother to Parai, something like a great mother. You, mother even to Parai, who bore the 12, from whom 12 clans branched. Clans here refers to caste, the different castes that evolved from the children of Parai. From whom 12 clans branched, bore countless children who could not live in amity. So what happens is that as there were caste distinctions, as there were class distinctions, as there were fight between various castes and class, there are numerous fightings that happen between the children of Mother Earth. ONV refers to that particular fight. He says that her children could not live in amity. Amity means a state of friendship and cordiality. There did not exist any sort of cordiality or friendship between the sons of Mother Earth. They always used to fight. You saw them. ONV is addressing Mother Earth and says that you saw them with your own eyes, devouring one another. Devouring literally means eating, but in this context it means killing, murdering, devouring one another. You stood helpless. Mother Earth was watching all this, but she was helpless. She could not do anything. You stood helpless, shedding unseen, silent tears. Look at how ONV describes her sorrow. She was shedding unseen, silent tears. She was definitely shedding tears, but it went unnoticed. Nobody saw her cry. Nobody saw her tears. And that is why ONV says that it is unseen, silent tears. Then, even as they danced merrily, gorging you slice by slice, all suffering, you stood unprotesting. So initially they devoured each other. They destroyed each other. And later on they turned to you. And they were dancing merrily. They were celebrating. They were celebrating their success. And during that celebration, what they were doing was that they were gorging you slice by slice. They were eating you. Gorging means overeat. Here it means consuming. Human race was consuming every natural resources, not in a modest or polite manner. They were overeating you. They were taking more and more from you, Mother Earth. And what did you do? You stood there unprotesting. You did not protest to all this. You just stood there unprotesting. Let us go ahead. Parting your soft green mantle, you suckled them at your breast. As they grew, they discovered a strange thirst, their last, a thirst for the blood of your sacred heart. Parting your soft green mantle. Mother Earth had to bid goodbye to her soft green mantle. Mantle means cover. The covering she had, the green covering she had, the soft green covering she had to part with it. She had to bid goodbye to it. And that happened because of the exploitation made by human beings. Parting your soft green mantle, you suckled them at your breast. It's you who fed them. Suckle them means to feed someone, to feed them. It is Mother Earth who fed the human beings. But what did they do? As they grew, they discovered a strange thirst. Look at the adjective that is being used there, a strange. The poet cannot understand why human beings developed such a taste, developed such a thirst. That is why he calls it strange, because he knows that if human beings have to survive, they need Mother Earth. But here, what is happening in reality is that they are exploiting and they are causing the gradual death of Mother Earth. So, as they grew, they discovered a strange thirst, and this is probably their last thirst. And what is this thirst? A thirst for the blood of your sacred heart. You have a divine, pure heart, and what human beings have developed is that a thirst for your blood, your sacred, your divine, your pure blood. That is what human beings or human race wants in. Let us look at the fifth stanza. O mother, favorite bride of the sun, you lost even the bridal finery he gave you. They tore it to shreds, they clawed at your bare body, they feasted on the gushing blood. The rhythm of death resounds everywhere as they swirl in their frenzied dance. O mother, he again and again the poet addresses earth as his mother, because he knows that it is from her that he took existence. It is from her that he came into being. So ultimately the poet calls her the mother. And how does he describe her? O mother, favorite bride of sun. Or when he refers to earth as the favorite bride of the sun. Perhaps he is referring to all the other planets. And most probably he calls earth as the most favorable bride of the sun because of the presence of life on it. You lost even the bridal finery he gave you. Finery refers to the showy attire. You know that earth is very beautiful to look at from this space. It has a blue appearance. It's very appealing. The look is very appealing. But gradually you have lost all that finery. And this she received as a bride's gift from the sun. And she has lost it. They tore it to shreds. They here refers to human beings, and they tore it to shreds. It's human beings who tore it, and they tore it to shreds, little pieces. They clawed at your bare body. You see that ONV is trying to compare human beings with animals, and animal imagery comes in here. They clawed at, they preyed on you. They tried to act like more or less like parasites who use up, who eats up, who destroys the host on which it lives. They clawed at your bare body. They feasted on the gushing blood. Now, as they tore your bare body with claws, blood started oozing out, and they feasted on it. They celebrated on it. Blood was flowing continuously. Don't take all this in the literal meaning. ONV is trying to figuratively explain to you what is happening to Mother Earth. So blood was gushing out, and human beings, they were celebrating at this particular happening. The rhythm of death resounds everywhere. You can listen to the music of death, the coming in of death. The rhythm of death resounds everywhere as they swirl in their frenzied dance. So the rhythm, the music that they are dancing to is the rhythm or music of death. And the human beings are engaged in a frenzied dance, an uncontrolled or out of control dance. They are probably blind to the fact that they are destroying this planet. They have taken all the wonderful resources and beauty that is there in this planet, and they are in an uncontrolled celebration. They are doing this unconsciously or consciously, but it has become uncontrollable. Sixth stanza. The story of the young Greek who unwittingly married his mother is dated. The children of Mother Earth, they who stripped her naked, script a new version of the old story. What they strip, they sell in the market for a drink. The villain's claw, the axe plays on and on. The story of the young Greek who unwittingly married his mother is dated. ONV is referring to the story of Oedipus, who unknowingly killed his father and married his own mother. I hope you are familiar with the story. If you are not, please do read the story of Oedipus the king. It was written by Sophocles. You have the story, the play written by Sophocles. So the story is not outdated, but it has become dated. It has become of significance in the present era. The children of Mother Earth, they who strip her naked. So referring to Oedipus story, ONV says, the children of Mother Earth, they are stripping her naked. Look at what the present children does to their mother. They strip her naked, and in the new story, what do? They strip her and they sell in the market for a drink. And drink here refers to the materialistic attitude of human beings. Always trying to point out the commercialization that is happening out there, the objectification of nature. How people see nature as a medium to get profit. How they are commercially exploiting nature. So they are stripping their mother and they are selling her for a drink, for returns, for profit, for gains. The villain's claw, the villain, human beings, the villain's claw, the axe plays on and on. This process is continuous. How human beings exploit her, how human beings take advantage of nature, all these continues. The parasite keeps on destroying its host. The villain's claw, the animal imagery, the villain's claw keeps on taking blood from her. The axe plays on. The nature is again destroyed to pieces. Let us look at the last stanza for the day. The eyes of the blazing sun shoot rays of fiery fury. June clouds hunt for drinking water. December nights hunt for cold. April dawns hunt for a tiny flower. Sylvan rivers hunt for swirling currents. The rhythm of creation is shattered. The wheels of the chariot of life are stuck on their course. Your sweet memories are all I have, till the last dregs of sense remains in me, I, who took shape from you and from you took life. Mother, the first ecstasy on my tongue, with your herb and honey, the last drop of water that soothes, even as the flame of my life is snuffed out. The eyes of the blazing sun. Blazing means shining intensely. Earlier, in the 5th stanza, when we said that earth is the favorite bride of the sun, in the 7th stanza, it seems like when we is trying to say that sun is taking revenge for the doings of human beings. He says, "The eyes of the blazing sun shoot rays of fiery fury." The sun is extremely angry over what has happened to his bride Earth, and therefore he is shooting rays of fiery fury. He is probably referring to the extreme heat that we faced or that we are facing these days. So the sun is firing rays of shooting rays of fiery fury on human beings. June clouds hunt for drinking water. Look at how he ironically describes the changes that has happened over earth. He says that June clouds hunt for drinking water. We don't get water, we don't get rain, and we are completely in short. And all this happened because we exploited Mother Earth. June clouds hunt for drinking water. Probably ONV is referring to extreme droughts that happen at places. December nights hunt for cold. Normally, it's during the month of December that we Keralites experience some sort of cold nights. We don't have the winter season over here, and it's towards the end of the year that we have some sort of cold climate coming in. And ONV says that December nights hunt for cold. Now these are all ironical imageries that he is supplying to us, and irony is nothing but incongruity between what might be expected and what actually happens. You expect some sort of a cool weather in December, but December nights are hunting for cold. April dawns hunt for a tiny flower. Now, April is the time of spring season, and as you know, spring season is that season where you see fresh buds blossoming all around, where when animals awake and all the earth seems to come to life again. But here, April is hunting for a tiny flower. It cannot see life anywhere. That is how much we have destroyed this earth. The entire life cycle has been disturbed because of the activities of human beings. Sylvan rivers hunt for swirling currents. Sylvan refers to forest. Probably ONV is writing about the rivers that originate in mountains and forest. And sylvan rivers are hunting for swirling currents, which means that there is no water in it. The rhythm of creation is shattered. What as we saw in the previous stanzas, it's a frenzied dance that is happening from the side of human beings, and they are dancing to a tune, and that tune, that rhythm, is actually the rhythm of death. Now he repeats that idea again here. The rhythm of creation is shattered, which means the rhythm of death has crept in. The wheels of the chariot of life are stuck on their course. Now things used to happen as part of a cycle in our planet, but that cycle has been disturbed. The wheels of the chariot of life are stuck on their course. Your sweet memories are all I have. Now, as of now, there is nothing so much beautiful about this planet. There are no good things that are happening around you in the present. So when we says that I have only good memories about you, so all the good things about this planet has become past. Your sweet memories are all I have till the last dregs of sense. Dregs means sediments, the sediments you have after drinking something. Till the last dregs of sense remains in me, I, who took shape from you. Now this is where we understand that he sees earth as his own mother, because he says, I, who took shape from you, and from you took life. So when we sees, the poet sees mother earth as the reason for his coming into being or coming into existence, and he calls him mother. He again repeats this usage, mother. The first ecstasy on my tongue. We normally say this. It is the word mother or amma that we utter after being born. So he says, the first ecstasy on my tongue with your herb and honey. You can interpret it in both ways. The first word that comes out of your mouth, or the first taste that you got was of Mother Earth. And how did he get a taste of Mother Earth? You know, we have this ritual of serving a newborn with a paste of honey and the herb Vayambu. This is a tradition that still exists in between in our culture. We also have this tradition of serving the newborn with a tinge of gold. So all these rituals exist in our society, in our culture, and ONV here refers to the ritual of serving the newly born with a paste of honey and vayambu. The first ecstasy on my tongue. Ecstasy means something which makes you filled with emotions. The first ecstasy on my tongue with your herb and honey, the last drop of water that soothes even as the flame of my life is snuffed out. So, the poet, human beings, they are gradually going to confront their death. The last drop of water that you get would really soothe you. He says, the last drop of water that soothes, it makes you feel better. It makes you achieve a pleasant state. And even as you are dying, when you get it, you feel very much soothed. You feel better. With that, we come to the end of this video lesson. I hope you are understanding the interpretations made by me. I will discuss the remaining part of the poem in the next video lesson. Thank you so much for watching.